Hi everybody, hope you all doing good. So welcome to my online class. Today we are going to discuss about the chapter 2 in class 8, that is Microorganisms Friend of Food. I think so it is an important topic in this hectic situation. So now if someone come and ask you whether microorganisms are your friend or enemy, what you'll say? Immediately you'll say that no, microorganisms are only our enemies. But it is not like that. We have some microorganisms actually which are beneficial to our life. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss them in detail. What are microorganisms, where they are present, and how are they beneficial or how are they enemies to us. So to begin with the introduction, what are microorganisms? So microorganisms, as the name indicates that, they are very tiny. They are not visible to our naked eye unless with the help of a microscope we can't able to see them. So if we place a microorganism under a microscope, we can able to see the microorganisms. So actually where are they present? Microorganisms are present everywhere in the environment. We have microorganisms in air, we have microorganisms in water, we have microorganisms in soil, in food, the place where we touch. If you're going to touch a handle of a door, there you have microorganisms. If you're going to touch any surface, there you have microorganisms. So microorganisms are present everywhere in the life. So what are the different forms of microorganisms? We have bacteria, fungi, protozoa, algae and virus. So these are the different forms of microorganisms. Let us discuss about them in detail. First we'll discuss about bacteria. What are bacteria? So bacteria are unicellular microorganisms. Unicellular means they are single cell microorganisms. So bacteria, you have different shapes. You have a rod shaped bacteria, you have a spiral shaped bacteria, you have a comma shaped bacteria, you have a spherical shaped bacteria. So there are different forms of bacteria. So bacteria, they may be present either as an individual organism or they may be present in colonies. That is, they can exist as groups. So that is regarding bacteria. Then we'll move on to fungi. What are fungi? So fungi, they look like a plant, but actually they will not come under the plant kingdom, because we all know that plants have chlorophyll. So they can prepare their own food through photosynthesis. But fungi, though they appear like plant, they do not have chlorophyll. So they cannot prepare their own food. They are actually heterotrophs. They depend upon other organisms for food. So they derive the food by two ways. So first, either they can be saprophytic. What are saprophytes? So saprophytes are organisms which feed on the dead plant and animals. So they will feed upon the dead plant and animals and they'll get the nutrients from them. The second mode of nutrition, it is parasite. So parasites, they live on a living host. They will not kill the host. They will not cause any harm to the host. But they will derive the nutrients from the host. So fungi, they derive food either by the saprophytic mode of nutrition or by the parasitic mode of nutrition. The next microorganism is protozoa. So protozoa, they are also heterotrophic. They also depend upon others for food. And protozoa, mostly they are aquatic, like amoeba, paramecium, which we can find mostly in water. And next is your algae. Again, algae can also be found as an individual filament, or we can also find them in groups, that is colonies. So Spirogyra is an example for the algae which can be seen as an individual filament, and volvox is an example of algae where we can see them in groups. And the last one is virus. So virus, they lie on the borderline of living and non-living. So as they are present outside, they are non-living. They are considered to be dead, but they will wait for a host. Once they enter inside the host, they will become active. They will turn into living and they'll do all the mechanisms inside the host. So compared to other microorganisms, definitely virus, they are bad. They're actually the villains of our life. They're always bad. They do not have any beneficial effect on us. So now we'll see what are the benefits caused by other microorganisms. So we have so many benefits from all other microorganisms like bacteria, protozoa, fungi and algae. We'll discuss them one by one in detail. So first we'll see about your commercial value. What commercial use we can get from these microorganisms. So microorganisms are beneficial to us in the production of bread and in the production of curd and in the manufacture of cheese, in the production of alcohol from yeast. So in all these things we are using microorganisms so that the important process known as fermentation is done. So as a product of fermentation we are enjoying most of the things like your bread, your curd, cheese and all the products like your idli, dosa. The batter, once it gets fermented, then only we can use it for making all your breakfast. So microorganisms play an important role in a process called fermentation. And next, your microorganism has a medicinal use. They are used in the manufacture of antibiotics. And we have so many antibiotics like tetracycline, penicillin, streptomycin, erythromycin. So these are some of the antibiotics which are derived from microorganisms. Apart from antibiotics, microorganisms are also used in the manufacture of vaccines. An important vaccine is polio. So now we can say that in India we have totally eradicated polio. So we have polio vaccine twice in a year. So that the microorganisms they are given in so that we can have a natural defense mechanism against these diseases. So they are used in the manufacture of vaccines. Apart from that, we also have the production of vitamin B tablets using your yeast and also bacteria. So this is regarding your medicinal field. So microorganisms also play an important role in agricultural field. They increase the soil fertility. How they will increase the soil fertility? So microorganisms will break down the complex particles into simple materials which the plants can utilize as nutrients. And if we take your nitrogen fixation, which is an important process, your nitrogen fixation is done by a bacteria called as rhizobium, which is present in the root nodules of leguminous plants. So this bacteria rhizobium, they can fix the atmospheric nitrogen in the soil, which is later used by the plants as nutrients, so that the fertility of the soil is increased. And finally, they do the cleaning work in the environment. So without microorganisms, which are also called as the decomposers, we can't imagine the existence of world. Because if we don't have the microorganism, the earth will be completely filled with only the dead bodies. We won't have any place to live. So microorganisms play an important role in decaying the dead organic matter of your plants and animals and human beings, so that the dead bodies are converted into nutrients which again can be used by your plants. So microorganisms, they have such a wonderful benefits which your human beings can utilize. Thank you.